Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's your girl Jamin Zadana back at it with another video. If you're new here, welcome to the channel, and if you've been here a while and are a subscriber, thank you for coming back. I know I've been lost, but I'm around, just a lot of things going on. And without further ado, let's get straight into the video. So today's video is gonna be a series of story times. They're not very long, they're not very short either, and I hope we have fun. So 3 of these 4 stories are actually in a high school setting. This is when I was back in high school. Yes. So first story time, this is a story about how I believed someone was an actress from Nickelodeon, but she was in a traditional school with me as well. Yeah, this was back in 2015. I remember I had just moved to a new school. I was in St. Lawrence, Crown City, in my senior one, and then my mom changed me, so she took me to a school that was called St. Julian. And for those of you who know St. Julian, you know what I'm talking about. That place to me was hell on earth, because imagine coming from a school that was just a little bit relaxed but a bit strict as well, to a school that is traditional in every sense. So I'm obviously having a hard time adjusting to the school, but I met some good people there, some friends, some classmates that were showing me around, and that's how I also got to meet another very close friend of mine that was also from St. Lawrence. Yeah, I just spent, I think, a few months in the school when I met this character. Let me give her a name. Yeah, let's say Mary. I know that's a very odd name, but I'm going to give her a name, Mary. So Mary was in senior 3, I was in form 2. I do not remember how we met exactly, but what I remember is that we both were big fans of Nickelodeon, the kids TV channel thing. And yeah, because most of us grew up watching Nickelodeon shows like Victorious, iCarly, and so many more. So I loved that so much, and that was one thing we had in common. One time we were preparing for the next day. That was around probably 9 p.m. We were preparing for morning prep, next day of school, and we're at the ending bay. So we're talking about Nickelodeon, and for some reason this girl tells me that she has connections with Dan Schneider. I should have clicked that, this might not be all the way true, but I was young and very impressionable at the time, so I was like, oh really, oh my gosh, that is so cool. Then she told me how she texts characters from Victorious, like Beck, Alvin, Georgia. I don't know if that's his name, that's how they pronounce the second name, but Alvin. And she's like, they text, they talk all the time. She has met with them, she has hung out with them a couple of times.
Stop the cap.
And little old me, I was just taking everything in. I was in so much awe. I was like, oh my gosh, oh my goodness, this is so cool. Like, it means if I continue being friends with this girl, I might get a chance to even become an actress on Nickelodeon or something.
Are you delusional? Do you suffer from a mental illness? Do you think you do?
Something. I know, wild. I was so young, oh my gosh. So she kept on telling me stories, and I was believing her. And she would also tell the stories to a couple of more people, and some of them would not believe, and I was there, the devoted supporter.
Doll. Come on, man.
Devoted. So I was like, no, like it's true. Like she's really an actress and all that. I told my brother as well. He didn't really believe it, but I was a kid and I was just like being stubborn. I was like, no, she is. So yeah, for a minute I was like, oh my gosh. And she also had an accent.
Get out of here, man. I'm saying.
That also contributed to it. I was like, oh my gosh, like I finally have someone that I can relate with, you know? So anyway, yeah, I didn't spend a very long time in the school. I was there for only a year and then my mom changed me again, and then I went to Hana International School. So when I come back after some time, I think she was telling me that she was going back to the States. I had already left St. Julian at this time. She told me she was traveling abroad. She was about to get on the plane and stuff, and I was like, oh, that's nice, safe journey and all that. But a friend of mine told me that same day that she claimed to be having to go on a flight or whatever, that she was actually in town. My friend saw her in town walking. You know how Uganda is, people just be minding their own business. Everyone is like doing some shopping or going to school or going to work or something like that. But yeah, the day that she said she was going back to continue her acting career on Nickelodeon, she was in town, she was walking. In my head, I was like, so this chick lied to me and stuff.
So that was a f***ing lie.
But at the same time, I'm like, why didn't I realize that she was lying to me? Like, she made it seem glamorous, and little did I know that I was talking to a pathological liar. Yes, it's not true. I googled her and everything and it's not true. And now she's in Uganda and probably pursuing a career in journalism somewhere here. I think I saw that she has a show. But anyway, I digress. If you hear any background noises, my house is right next to the road. Anyway, so yeah, I really thought I was going to be an actress on Nickelodeon.
Delusions. What delusions? It's delusion. What's a delusion? Delusions! Delusions! Was delusion.
And when I got back home, you know how we were mostly on Facebook those days. We were on Facebook mostly, and I would look for accounts that apparently belonged to those actors and actresses, and I was like, oh my gosh, like you guys, I was so delusional. There's a time she told me that one of the actresses was going to text me on Facebook, and I believed her, and I was like patiently waiting. I was even added to a group. There's Alvin Georgia, there is Curtis, I have forgotten his actual, I don't know if that's his actual name, but yeah, some actors from Haunted House, the Haunted Hathaways, and those Victorias, those Bella and the Bulldogs. So Bella from Bella and the Bulldogs texted me, and I was over the moon. This was before I even discovered that you could get scammed on Facebook, and the things that you see on Facebook are not the actual people. So for me, from to 15-year-old me, I should have, but I don't know, I didn't have sense, I guess, at the time. So I was, yeah. So I'm pretty sure it was her and a bunch of people like just having a go at me, just like having fun, laughing.
Talo. Sorry.
And stuff, lying to me and stuff. But yeah, anyway, that was my bad and my delusions. Man, I need to go and get checked because this was too much. How did I get lied to like that and I believed every single word? So anyway, let's move on to the next story. So this is the story about how the person I thought was my friend stole my dryer. Let's get into it. So this is how we met. I was in senior 5 when I met this person. It was a girl, yeah. So I was with her. She was cool. She had like, this chick was like pretty. She still is, I guess. I just haven't talked to her in a while. So pretty, banging body, you know. She had like a wasp body. She had big nyash, curves, small waist. I was like, yeah, cool. So she became my friend, and I was like, she was cool, she was alright. We were hanging out together, not all the time, but yeah, when we got the chance to, we would. So yeah, we were friends. And back in high school, she was, I think, accused of stealing people's clothes. I know.
That's suspicious. That's weird.
You know, that is a crazy accusation. But she was accused of stealing people's clothes in dorm, the girls' dorm. So I refused to believe that, because I was like, how? For a person like her, she seems like she has her own clothes and everything. Why would she steal from people? So I supported her in that. Yeah, because I was a friend, I supported her in that situation. And I kept denying. I was like, those are just rumors. People don't like her for some reason. You know how girls be. So I thought, you know, I brushed it off. And there was a time she was getting bullied by a certain group of people in school, like too much, to a point where she had to leave. But before she left, people were like, we need to check your suitcase, because people are saying that you're stealing people's clothes and we want to know if it's true or not. So when they open her suitcase, they find people's tops. Someone is like, oh my gosh, that's my top there. Oh my gosh, that's my trouser. Oh my gosh, that's my vest.
No, I don't. I think she's... Oh, why, you little thief! They're my beads! Give them here! Oh, no! Oh, and look, that's my sash wearing my sash. He can't! Oh, stop, please, stop!
Things like that. So I didn't believe, you know, I really thought like, she can't really be a thief, you get. So I move on. She leaves the school, she changes school, and I finished my senior 6, I think, that very year. Was it? Yeah, I finished my form 6 that very year. We had met in form 5, but then she left in form 6 before we got a chance to do our unit papers. So yeah, she moves, and during our vacation, form 6 back, she asked us to hang out, and we're hanging out and everything was cool. And we would go like to Kenji's, come back home, stuff like that. So there's a time where I asked her for, I think, a hair straightener, and she gave it to me. I stayed with it for a couple of days. She came back, she picked it, and then she told me, oh right right, could I use your blow dryer? I'll bring it back for you. So I was like, yeah, it's cool, you can get it, you can bring it back after you're done, because that's the same thing she did for me. And I was like, okay, you know what, there's probably no big deal, she'll bring it back. So I come back home, a couple of weeks go by, and she's just like not responding to my texts, and I'm like, girl, my blow dryer. She's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna bring it for you, and then she kept like dodging the issue, and I kept bugging her, and I'm like, yo, where is the blow dryer? So maybe she didn't intend to like steal it or whatever, or take it or keep it without asking for permission. But yeah, I never got my blow dryer back up to today. And this story is not to make anyone look bad. If you're watching this story, you can bring my blow dryer if you want to, but that's just something that I found bizarre for someone that you call a friend that would do that to you. Because you know money is not gotten from trees, and buying a blow dryer in Uganda is not easy because it's expensive. So yeah, that was my second story about the girl who took my blow dryer. Yeah. Story number 3. So this is still in a high school setting. I was in Form 6 by this time. And yeah, let's get straight into it. You know how Form 5s come like after everyone else has reported? So yeah, a couple of Form 5s, obviously I did not really pay that much attention to them. But there was one person that caught my attention. Some guy.
Oh my.
I'm gonna call him Malachi. Yeah. I'm gonna call him Malachi. And Malachi was a South Sudanese student. And me being South Sudanese, I had never dated someone from my country for some reason. I don't know why. And maybe because our men are they're like this. They are never like this. They're like this. Like, they're always dating like 4 to 5 women at once. So I had like those stereotypes in my head. So I was like, I'm not even gonna bother with it. But this guy was fine. This guy was good looking.
Wow.
And he was Sudanese. I was like, yeah. So I had a crush on him, a big crush. And just to put it as a tiny crush would be an understatement. It was a big, huge crush. It was a big crush. So I had a best friend. And he would help me, like tell me like what he's up to, what Malachi is up to, if he's okay, what he likes. You know, I was just like smitten with this guy. Mind you, I was in Form 6, he was in Form 5. So anytime I would see him, my heart would just be like. So and back in high school, I believed in like that manifesting stuff. If you manifest something, it will happen. So yeah, I used to say, oh my gosh, please, I hope he likes me. I want him to like me. He likes me, or something like that. And we would share glances, and it would be this what bad story type look. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'll just like, the feelings were growing every day. They're just growing. So one time we had a school dance, and this guy calls me, Malachi calls me, and I'm like freaking the F out. I was like, bro, what did I do? What's happening? And I was like, oh my gosh, finally I manifested it, and it's happening. And also I was going off on that saying that says, if you maybe have a crush on someone like too much, eventually that person is also going to start liking you. So for me, I was like, yeah, the universe is like listening to me and helping me out. Yeah, so we talk during the dance. In Uganda we call it a danke. So during the danke, we were there, we're talking, and then there was some whining, there was some lap dancing and all that, and we shared a kiss. I know it was boarding school, and it was a danke, and teachers were present, but it was as people were going out, we shared a kiss. And from that day on, he told me, will you be my girlfriend? And I was obviously, my answer was yes. So yeah, we were dating for some time. It was kind of odd. It wasn't like, to me it wasn't that much of a relationship, because we would talk but we wouldn't have like that much to talk about. And whenever he would see me, he would be like shy, and there was a lot of influence from other people outside the relationship, like his friends who are girls who I believe did not like me, well, probably whispering things in his ear. So he was kind of, I could say, not proud of me. Yeah, so but me, I believed I was in love. I believed I was in love, and yeah. One day he calls me and he's like, oh my gosh, you're too good for me, I'm not the right guy for you, I smoke, I drink, I do this. And I'm like, when did I ever tell you that that was a problem? Like, I never had an issue with it, why should you have an issue with it? So he broke up with me that day. And obviously I was heartbroken. It was a Sunday, and whenever I would see him like holding another girl's hand, I would say, oh, he left me because he wanted to be with someone nicer, prettier. Yes, back in high school I was a lot, not a tiny bit, a lot insecure. I was very insecure. So something as small as that, even if the person was a friend, I was like, oh, he left me because, you know, she's prettier, I'm not that pretty, I'm like this. And I was also struggling with my body image and everything. So yeah, that happened. And eventually I obviously was heartbroken. Every time I would see him, I would want to cry. Gosh. Anyway, but I got over it eventually. I was like, okay, I'm tired. This guy doesn't like me, he doesn't like me, we're not going to get back together. So yeah, by this time there was a newcomer. She was pretty, I've forgotten her name and she's not really relevant, but she was pretty. And this chick, for some reason, I don't know why, but she was wearing green eye contacts. Anyway, I digress. So she comes in, she's kind of a smart mouth, but I'm like, cool, she's alright, I can tolerate that for a bit. And she was my roommate. So I think, let's say by this time it was like, I think 2 to 3 weeks since me and Malachi broke up, and he started dating the new girl. The new girl was in my room, and he knew that the new girl was kind of my friend. So yeah, it was crazy. I don't know if I resented her for it. I don't really think so, because I was not that problematic in high school. And for some reason I was like, you know what, if you're dating her, date her, it's okay. Then there's some time where me and her got into the dining hall for lunch together, and I could clearly tell he was freaking out. But yeah, that was the story of how my ex dated my roommate, and that was it. I don't really hold anything against anyone. It was just really funny and sad and very petty, in my opinion. Yeah. So yeah, let's move on to the next story and the very last one. This happened, I think, this year, the beginning of this year. Okay, I'm gonna give you a background. I had gone to a friend's house party one time, and I met this guy there. He was cool, he was alright, he was not that good looking, but he wasn't that bad looking either. So I was like, okay, he's cool. And yeah, he expressed to me that he liked me during that house party. Let me be clear, we met, I think, in 2022 and at the house party. Yeah. And yeah, he expressed he liked me, blah blah blah. But whenever my friends would see me with him, they would come and like separate us, and they'll be like, don't trust that guy, he's not right, like he's not okay, like he's a player and stuff like that. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna stay away from him. But he kept finding me in this, like during the house party, he kept finding me, pulling me away, talking to me. And then when my friends find us again, they would like say, they want him to stay off, to back off me. So yeah, that's how we met. Then after that whole house party thing, we come back home, everything is everything's cool. So he managed to get my number, I think either off the group chat that we had days before the house party, preparing for the house party, or from a friend of mine. So he got my number, we started talking, and then he expresses how he likes me and all that. Mind you, this time I wasn't really interested in him. I wasn't really interested in dating anyone. So he was just there saying, oh, I love you, and I'm like, that should have been a red flag. Yeah, like, how do you say I love you to a person that you don't know even that well? But me, Diana, by now we all know that I'm delusional. So I was like, oh, that is so sweet. And he used to call me every day, even at 6 a.m. he would call me. Stalker vibes, but I really didn't, it didn't register in my brain. So we continue talking and all that. He asks me out and I'm like, no, I'm not ready for a relationship right now, no. But he kept like insisting. He's like, okay, fine, we can be friends. And I'm like, okay, cool. So we talk, fast forward, I think for 2 years, and then he asks me out again. And in my head, I'm like, you know what? It couldn't hurt to like try, you know, because what if I say no, I reject this guy, and it could have been something nice. So I'm like, you know what? Let me give him a chance. I give him a chance. Everything is kind of okay. We were talking for the first few weeks. I think everything was good. He was caring again, calling me, checking up on me. I was like, oh, that's so nice. And then I'll do the same for him as well. And I think he also took advantage of the fact that I am a nice person. I don't really like to be mean to people. So I think he took advantage of that, kind of manipulated me. We're dating at this time, so we're talking. And I think I had started to like him at some point. I started to like him and I was like, okay, this seems to be working, so why put it off? I didn't tell my friends, I didn't tell them, oh, I dated him, blah blah blah, all that crap. But then after a few weeks, he started being flaky, you know, flaky. So he wouldn't text as much, he wouldn't call as much. And I'll obviously first give him, like, cut him some slack, because he said he was working and he was doing his probably masters at the time. And I was like, okay, let me try and be understanding, because I can't relate. I don't work. I'm not working yet. So he kept giving me the excuse of, oh, I'm busy, I'm so tired, blah blah blah, all that crap. So I'm like, okay, cool. I didn't really suspect a thing. So he would, whenever I would like complain to him, he would act right for a couple of, let's say, days, maybe up to a week, and then he would stop. He would become flaky again.
Oh Lord. Again. Again. Nothing new, nothing changed, same old shit.
And I'm like, what's going on? And we try to talk it out. We always find a solution. He's always apologizing, and I'm like, cool, just next time don't do this, do better please, or the next time I'm dipping, I'm leaving. So he's like, yeah, I'm sorry, I'll try my best. I'm like, okay. And then the whole so I was like in a whole cycle for some time, and then I'm like, yo, what's going on? Like, if you're not interested anymore in this relationship, you can tell me, we call it quits. Like, I don't want someone to waste my time. Yeah. So he's like, no, it's not it, it's just so much has been going on, there are all that. So I'm like, oh, okay. I was obviously pissed, but after some days I would just like I'll cool down and just like forgive. So my mentality started to change. I was like, I'm gonna give you the same energy you give me, right? You don't text me, I won't text you. You don't call me, I don't call you, and vice versa. So I did that, and nigga really didn't text, didn't call for weeks. It had been like 3 weeks, 3 even 2. It was almost a month, and I was like, you know what, this is not cool. I just decided to leave everything as it is, because I was tired of talking. I was like, let him be there. If he wants to talk, he will talk. If he doesn't want, let him stay. But me, in my head, I was done. I was over it. But you know, there's always a hope that you'll be holding on to, like, maybe he'll change, maybe. But yeah, that was dumb. That was dumb of me to do. But yeah. So one morning, fast forward to 2024, we had just started. So mind you, that whole no texting thing started as I think the year 2023 was ending. Then it also sipped into 2024 this year. and January he wasn't really texting as much, and I was like, yeah, cool. Then he was obviously apologizing, but I wasn't having that shit. I wasn't taking him at his word anymore, because I was like, if you can tell me this like 10,000 times, like, and you still don't change, how do you expect me to like believe you this time? So he's like, yeah. So we don't text for a couple of more weeks, and Valentine's is around the corner, and I'm like, okay, you know what, he'll probably like text me or make some plans for Valentine's with me and stuff. But boy, was I in for a surprise. So I think the day of or the day before Valentine's Day, I decided to check my WhatsApp statuses. I'm like, I'm bored, let me just like look through these updates like real quick before I go and do something else. So I stumble on his status and I'm like, okay, let me just check what this guy is up to. So I see the first slide, it's just him taking a video of a certain chick. So my thought process was, oh, that's probably a friend, because he has female friends as well. And I was like, okay, people have friends, it's okay. So he was taking like a nice video of her. She was pretty. I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. So I was like, okay, let's go to the next slide. When we go to the next slide, it was, I think, an elevator video. It was an elevator video. She was in front of him, he was behind her, and he was giving her a peck on the cheek. And me, being delusional, I was like, you know what? Some friends do that. Some friends do give each other pecks on the cheek. So it was like, me, it's okay. Like, it's fine. Like, I was obviously getting skeptical, but I was like, you know what? It's okay. That's probably a friend. Then, tell me why the next slide was a candlelit dinner at a place that looked relatively expensive, and he was just like holding her hand. You know those date videos. Hey, I was speechless. I did not know what to do. I was like, wait, what the hell? I didn't know what to do. I was just laughing at this point. It was funny. It was just so funny. I was like, oh, these guys are actually on a date, and that's not just his friend, that's probably his girlfriend or something. Or that's, in my head, I'm the main chick, right? So I think he's cheating on me with someone else. So I was obviously angry, as I should be. Anyway, so I move from there, and I go and text a friend of mine, and I'm like telling her all this, and she's like, I think this guy has always had a girlfriend. Maybe that's why we were like telling you guys not to, or we're separating you guys anytime we phoned you guys together. So I was like, oh, so I'm the side piece. And he has been with that chick for like 2+ years, and I'm like, bro, what the hell? And I was not hurt per se. I was more angry about the fact that he would disrespect me in such a way. Yeah. So I was so like annoyed, and yeah, that was just that's how it ended. I texted him and I'm like, so you could have just ended things, but you decided to like pull me into this thing, making me believe that you liked me, and then you go behind my back and do this. You just wanted to use me. If that's what you wanted to do, you shouldn't have texted me from the get-go. And he was like, no, but gaslighting. I don't use women. I don't. And I'm like, nigga, like, what do you call this? You're dating 2 ladies at the same time. Like, what do you call it? So anyway, I left issues like that, but I told him it's on site. Because me, I know I can get violent at times. I know I have anger issues, but all I was seeing was red. I was like, anytime I see this nigga, whether it's on the road, whether it's at maybe a club, a mall, whatever, it's on sight. Like, I would fight him. So yeah, that's the story of how I was the side chick. Hey, that was a lot. That was a lot. And yeah, I guess that's the end of the video. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Please help me. And I'm going to try to post like more regularly. And I know I have been like preparing for grad and everything, but yeah. See you in my next video. Bye bye. Be safe. Love you guys. Peace.